Hey everyone, welcome back to REMIFA Music and thank you for watching. I'm Dan, your instructor for today. In this lesson, we'll explore the musical staff and its importance in written music. Now, before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to receive notifications for future lessons. We upload one lesson per week, including worksheets and exercises. So before we start, make sure you do that. And if you would like to get this pack of worksheets, the link is in the description below. So let's get into it. Let's turn to the first page. And on page 1, we have the musical staff, which is a set of 5 lines and 4 spaces, which are horizontal, and it's where musical notation is written. It serves as a representation of pitch and duration in written music. The staff provides a framework for organizing the musical notes, rests, and other symbols. So each line, numbered from bottom to top, and then each space, numbered from bottom to top, will be where we put the notes to represent the pitches. Here are the notes on the lines, and here are the notes in the spaces. And don't forget, we must count from the bottom to top. Now let's go to ledger lines. So when we have not enough space to write all the pitches in the instruments we use, we need the use of the ledger lines. And ledger lines are additional lines that extend above and below the regular staff as such, and they are used to notate the pitches that go beyond the range of the staff. Ledger lines follow the same rules and patterns for reading music and must be parallel to the bigger lines. Now we have to be sure not to add too many ledger lines because it can be difficult to read. Therefore, the number of ledger lines considered too many can vary. However, the general rule will be 4 to be the maximum. And we only use as many ledger lines as needed to write the notes that go beyond the staff. Now, there are ways to notate notes that go beyond this. For example, on the piano, we can use octava symbols, and that will be covered in another lesson. Another little helpful tip is that we want to make sure the note head is smaller than the length of the ledger line. So therefore the ledger line must extend beyond the note head so we can see it clearly. Also included in this lesson is the grand staff. And the grand staff, also known as great staff, combines the 2 staves, usually a top for a treble and the bottom for a bass clef. And it's usually used for instruments like the piano and keyboard instruments or the harp and organ. The grand staff allows us to simultaneously notate both the right and left hand parts and cover even a greater region on the piano. So remember 2 staves, and we're joined by a brace to indicate that it is played by the same musician, and we have a top usually for the right hand and bottom usually for the left hand. Now we've covered all the basic theory topics that we need for today in this thing, so you can stop here and try the exercises on your own, and if not, you can follow along with the exercises that we're going to do. So let's start with the exercises. On page 3, we've got number the lines and spaces. Okay, so if we're going to number the lines and spaces, we number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 the lines, and 1, 2, 3, 4 the spaces. Okay, now in exercise B, it asks us to whether to identify if a note is on a line or space, and simply put S for space and L for line. So in this case, this note's in a space, so space. This note's on the line, line, and so on. Line, space, line, space, line, 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 space, line, line, and space. And the next exercise on C, it asks us to practice drawing notes on the lines and spaces. So in this case, semi-breves or whole notes, and you just have to draw a few in the spaces and a few on the lines. Oh, I forgot this one, so let's pop that there. Okay, good. Hopefully remember to pause the video at any time and or try to do these exercises on your own. Let's go to page 4. Now on page 4, it's asking us to number the line that each note is on. So remember, counting from bottom to top, this note is on line number 1. This note is on line 1, 2, 3. This note is on line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and this one 1, 2, 3. In a similar fashion, in exercise E, it's asking us to number the space each note is on. In this case, 1, 1, 2, 3, counting always from the bottom to the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Great. Now in exercise F, all they want us to do here is to trace the ledger lines. So be very neat to trace these ledger lines. Try to be as neat as possible, not going beyond the tracing line. So there we go. And remember, with the ledger lines, we only use as many as we need. So if I need to draw a note here, and we put a ledger line here, then I only use one. I wouldn't go beyond that. If I want to draw a note on a space, then I would use the ledger line, then the note in that space, and no other ledger lines past that point. All right. Let's go to the next page on page 5. Now with page 5, this exercise in G, it's asking us to do a few things. It says using the semi-briefs, whole notes, draw the following on the given staff. First, a semi-brief on a ledger line. We can do that. So let's add a ledger line anywhere you like, and let's draw a semi-brief there. Perfect. Then it says a semi-brief between two ledger lines. Now this is a trick question because, as I said previously, we have to make sure that we are only adding as many ledger lines as we can. So in between would be a bit funny. So what we can do is either put a note there and then add another one, and that way we can go beyond the ledger lines and have a note in between two ledger lines. Good. Then it says a semi-brief on the second line of the staff. The second line would be here. 1, 2 there. And then it says a semi-brief on the fourth space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Good. Now it's asking us to name the parts of the grand staff. If we go back to the previous pages, we can use this. Or if you go to the last page, on page 6, you have a revision sheet of this lesson. Now let's go back and try and do it on our own. So it says name the parts of the grand staff. First, this is called the brace. And let's put that in that book here, the box here. Great. And then we have this little line. What's this little line called? Ledger line. Ledger line. Okay. And then here, this is just pointing to the staff or stave, the staff, which is our lesson topic. Great. Now it says here to list other instruments that use the grand staff, or we can put organ, harp, and try to look for your own other instruments, maybe like the xylophone, etc., etc. And if you have any notes, you can write them here. So hopefully this helps. You will see in the next slide a version of this in the video, and make sure you keep these revision sheets to help you. And hopefully this lesson was useful to you. Now make sure you click and subscribe for the next lesson, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Have a nice one. Bye-bye.